Stop looking for yourself in other people's opinions. We all want to be seen, to be understood, to be accepted, to know that people around us see something good, valuable, lovable, or worthy when they look at us. There is nothing wrong with that. The problem begins when we start using other people's opinions as evidence of who we are. Someone approves of us and we feel confident. Someone criticizes us and suddenly we question ourselves. Someone misunderstands us and we scramble to explain. Someone rejects us and we wonder what must be wrong with us. Without realizing it, we can spend our lives looking into other people, hoping to find our own reflection. But other people's opinions are not mirrors. They are perspectives. And if you want to know who you are, you have to stop looking for yourself in them. Other people don't see you objectively. None of us sees another person exactly as they are. We see people through the lens of who we are, our experiences, our beliefs, our expectations, our fears, our wounds, our preferences, our history. Someone may think you're selfish because you finally established a boundary. Someone else may admire you for having the courage to establish it. One person may find you intimidating. Another may find you inspiring. Someone may think you're too much. Someone else may wonder why you keep making yourself smaller. Which one is the truth? None of them entirely. They're seeing you through their own lens. Their perception belongs to them. Your identity belongs to you. Approval can become an addiction. Approvals feel good. Being praised feels good. Being liked feels good. And there is nothing unhealthy about enjoying those things. But when approval becomes necessary for us to feel secure, we begin organizing our lives around getting it. We say yes when we want to say no. We soften our opinions. We hide parts of ourselves. We change how we dress, speak, create, love, work, or dream based on how we think others will respond. We become experts at reading the room while slowly losing the ability to read ourselves. What do I actually want? What do I believe? What feels right to me? Who am I when nobody is applauding? Those questions become difficult to answer when we've spent too long allowing approval to answer them for us. Rejection doesn't define your value. When someone doesn't choose us, it can feel deeply personal. A relationship ends. A friendship changes. We don't get the job. Someone doesn't like our work. We're excluded from something. And suddenly rejection begins writing a story. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe I'm not attractive enough. Maybe I'm too difficult. Maybe I'm not worth choosing. But rejection doesn't have the authority to determine your value. It tells you something about a particular relationship, opportunity, circumstance, or person's preference. That's all. You can be extraordinary and still not be right for everyone. You can be deeply lovable and still not be loved well by a particular person. You can be talented and still not get the opportunity. You can be worthy and still not be chosen. Someone else's no is not a definition of you. Being misunderstood doesn't mean you're wrong. One of the hardest things to tolerate is being misunderstood, especially when we know our intentions. We want to explain, clarify, correct the record, make the other person finally see us accurately. Sometimes that's worthwhile, but sometimes people have already decided who you are, and no amount of explaining will change the version of you they've created. At that point, continuing to defend yourself isn't communication, it's an audition. You're trying to earn the role of good person in someone else's story. You don't have to. You can know your intentions without convincing everyone else of them. You can know your heart without submitting it for public approval. You can let someone misunderstand you and continue being who you know yourself to be. You can let someone misunderstand you and continue being who you know yourself to be. Not every opinion deserves equal weight. There is a difference between being open to feedback and being governed by it. Feedback can help us grow. Sometimes other people see things we can't. They can challenge us, teach us, point out blind spots, help us become better versions of ourselves. But wisdom means considering the source. Does this person know me? Do I respect how they live? Do they want the best for me? Is there truth in what they're saying? Are they offering insight or projecting something that belongs to them? You don't have to accept every opinion simply because someone was willing to give it. Not every voice deserves a seat at the table. You will be different people to different people. There are people who remember a version of you that no longer exists. People who met you during your worst season. People who benefited from you having no boundaries. People who loved the version of you who needed their approval. People who will celebrate your growth. And people who will resent it. You may be the villain in someone's story and the person who changed someone else's life for the better. You may be difficult to one person and exactly what another person needed. You may be remembered unfairly. You may be judged without context. You may never get the opportunity to correct someone's perception of you. That's part of being human. You cannot manage every version of yourself that exists in someone else's mind, and trying will exhaust you. You don't have to become indifferent. The answer isn't pretending you don't care what anyone thinks. Most of us care. We care what the people we love think. We care about being respected. We care when we're criticized. We care when someone doesn't like us. We're human. The goal isn't indifference, it's discernment. You can hear someone's opinion without handing them your identity. You can consider criticism without automatically believing it. You can appreciate praise without depending on it. You can be hurt by rejection without allowing it to determine your worth. Someone else's opinion can be information. It doesn't have to become identity. Know yourself before the world tells you who to be. The stronger your relationship with yourself becomes, the less easily other people's opinions can move you away from who you are. Know what you value. Know what you stand for. Know what you need. Know where you still have work to do. Know what you're proud of. Know what you're willing to change. And know what you aren't willing to sacrifice simply to make yourself easier for someone else to accept. Self-awareness doesn't mean believing you're always right. It means knowing yourself well enough to recognize the difference between useful feedback and someone else's projection. That kind of self-knowledge becomes an anchor. The world can have opinions. You don't have to drift with every one of them. Stop handing other people the mirror. If you keep asking the world who you are, you're going to receive thousands of different answers. Too loud, too quiet, too ambitious, not ambitious enough, too emotional, too guarded, too independent, too needy, too much, not enough. You could spend your entire life adjusting yourself to satisfy opinions that contradict one another. Or you could put the mirror back in your own hands. Look at yourself honestly, not through praise, not through criticism, not through rejection, not through applause, through your own eyes. Know where you've grown. Own where you've fallen short. Recognize what you bring into the world and decide for yourself who you want to become. You are the one who has to live your life. At the end of the day, the people whose approval you're chasing don't have to live with your choices. You do. They don't wake up inside your life. You do. They don't carry your dreams, your regrets, your compromises, your unlived possibilities. You do. So listen to people you trust. Stay teachable. Be willing to examine yourself. Apologize when you're wrong. Grow when you need to grow. But don't confuse humility with surrendering your sense of self. Your life cannot become a group project where everyone gets a vote on who you're allowed to be. Stop looking for yourself in other people's opinions. You were never hiding there. Slay reflection. S. See whose opinion has too much power. Whose approval or criticism has the ability to change the way you feel about yourself? L. Look at what you believe. What do you know to be true about yourself, regardless of whether someone else recognizes it? A. Accept that you won't be for everyone. Where could you give yourself permission to be misunderstood, disliked, or simply not someone's preference without making it mean something about your worth? Why? Your next step. The next time someone's opinion makes you question yourself, pause before accepting it as truth. Ask yourself, is this something I need to learn from or something I need to let belong to them? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. When have you allowed someone else's opinion of you to become your opinion of yourself? And what changed when you stopped? Share your story in the comments. Your experience may help someone else realize they've been searching for themselves in the wrong place. And if you know someone who needs this reminder, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.